high above the glitzy streets of Los Angeles. The Hollywood sign casts a shadow that reaches far beyond its white, towering letters. But as night falls, some say it reveals a darker side, where the lines between the past and the present blur into the eerie and unexplained. From mysterious lights that dance in the darkness to chilling voices carried on the wind, the Hollywood sign invites us to explore its haunted history. But before we dive in, some of the details in this story are disturbing and may not be suitable for all audiences, so viewer discretion is strongly advised. As always, remember to hit the like button, share the video, subscribe to the channel, and turn on post notifications to stay up to date with the channel. Alright, let's dive into the video. Standing on Mount Lee's Santa Monica Mountain slopes, the Hollywood sign has been a trademark site of Los Angeles since 1923. Originally built as Hollywoodland, it was a billboard for a posh real estate project, not at all like its present reputation as a legendary emblem of the entertainment business. Though the sign itself isn't placed in the neighborhood it promotes, the white block letters spelling Hollywood are seen from miles around, encapsulating the dreams and aspirations connected with the iconic region. It's crucial to understand that the Hollywood sign's past is more turbulent than its immaculate, freshly painted facade would suggest, as it marks its centennial. Originally meant only as a temporary advertisement, the sign was never meant to be a permanent fixture, let alone a tourist magnet. But its development reveals another narrative, one of survival and change. The sign became the sad background for an actress's suicide in the 1930s, representing the darker reality behind the glitzy Hollywood front. Described as a glaring badge of dishonor, rusted, dilapidated, soon to physically crumble under its own weight, the Hollywood Sign Trust said by the 1960s the sign had deteriorated. Though first neglected, the sign has been restored and today celebrates Hollywood's legendary heritage and function as the hub of cinema. Michael Schulman, a New Yorker staff writer and author of Oscar Wars, A History of Hollywood in Gold, Sweat, and Tears, says, "The Hollywood sign is a perfect representation of Hollywood the place. It is a show business mirage, two-dimensional and only presentable from the front, like an old movie set." This analogy emphasizes the sign's function as both a literal and symbolic landmark, a lighthouse for people lured to the film industry, therefore capturing both its beauty and its artificiality. In his book The Hollywood Sign, Fantasy and Reality of an American Icon, cultural historian Leo Braudy explores the symbolic authority of the sign. Unlike other American monuments like the Liberty Bell or the Lincoln Memorial, which are appreciated for their historical relevance, he contends that the Hollywood sign shows back at its viewers, therefore strengthening our view of glamour and prosperity. It's not only a sign, it's a mirror reflecting the great aspirations of wealth and glory that have come to define Hollywood. Hollywood, a name veiled in as much mystery as its past, began with real estate developer Harvey Henderson Wilcox's 1887 founding. But it was under the aspirational vision of H.J. Whitley, sometimes credited as the father of Hollywood, that this Californian town evolved into the glitzy enclave known worldwide today. Hollywood welcomed its first movie studio on Sunset Boulevard in 1911, therefore laying the groundwork for a business that would characterize the neighborhood. Drawn by its varied landscapes, perfect temperature for year-round filming, and strategic distance from Thomas Edison on the East Coast, who was vigorously enforcing his motion picture patents, the area saw the founding of more than a dozen film firms over the next few years. Hollywood's climb as the center of the film business started with this migration westward. Early Hollywood was a remarkable paradox. It was a lawless frontier of creativity, yet under the close control of the fledgling studio structure. This system, where 5 large studios held influence, limited independent filmmaking and exerted extraordinary control over the lives of performers and directors. The building of grand movie palaces like Grauman's Egyptian Theater in 1922 and Grauman's Chinese Theater in 1927 highlighted Hollywood's metamorphosis into a show of celebrity and lavish public relations. Real estate developers found golden prospects among this cinematic explosion. Early in the 1920s, a group of powerful business people included railroad magnates Eli P. Clark and Moses Sherman, Los Angeles Times publisher Harry Chandler, real estate developers Tracy E. Schultz and Sidney H. Woodruff envisioned an affluent residential enclave. They called it Hollywoodland, a name that suggested the fanciful worlds of Lewis Carroll's Alice's Adventures in Wonderland and J.M. Barrie's Neverland, most likely a cunning marketing ploy to appeal to the wealthy with a promise of a whimsical, elegant lifestyle. The group decided to build a massive billboard called Hollywoodland to advertise this special neighborhood. Historians still disagree over the project's beginnings and who first suggested the idea of the sign. But the Hollywood Sign Trust attests to the completion of the famous sign by December 1923, boldly displayed on the hillside gazing over the developing film center. Originally planned to be a temporary advertisement only lasting a year and a half, this sign has lasted far longer, representing the aspirations and goals ingrained in Hollywood's foundation. Hollywood evolved from a group of businesses to the symbolic center of the worldwide entertainment business throughout the decades. The Hollywood sign itself has reflected the highs and lows of the movie business over its existence. During Hollywood's golden age, it was tall. It became a forgotten relic as the business changed, then underwent restoration as a beloved sight. Every phase of life reflects the story of Hollywood, a place of both clear reality and great fantasies. Rising above Los Angeles on a hillside in 1923, the audacious, sans serif letters of the Hollywoodland sign were built, each roughly 30 feet wide and almost 45 feet tall. Workers non-stop locked the large panels into the ground over a 60-day period, a project costing $21,000 at the time, or around $370,000 now. With over 4,000 lights by year's end, the sign stunned and earned a description from the Los Angeles Evening Express as a gigantic electric sign, the largest in the world, which vies with the stars in the luminous beauty. Originally supposed to be a temporary advertisement, meant to last about 18 months, the sign weathered time and became a permanent landmark on the landscape. Owned by Harry Chandler, one of the real estate moguls behind the Hollywoodland construction, the Los Angeles Times regularly promoted the region as a peaceful haven from the hustle of city life once it opened. But the start of the Great Depression in the late 1920s and early 1930s taxed the real estate syndicate's finances and even affected the rapidly growing film business, leading to the syndicate's collapse in 1933. The M.H. Sherman Company acquired the sign around this time, but quickly discovered it would be too expensive to keep its shining brilliance. The decision was to cut off the electric show, therefore dimming the lights that had once challenged the stars. A personal tragedy in 1932 darkly added to the history of the sign among these operational and financial changes. Rising to the top of the letter H and dying, 24-year-old British stage actress Peg Entwistle had gone to Los Angeles in hopes of silver screen glory. Her possessions were found by a hiker. Among them was a handbag with a suicide note that shockingly said, "I am afraid I am a coward. I'm bad about everything. Long ago, if I had done this, I would have avoided much suffering." This remark, lacking any references to her acting career, nevertheless set the story in which her fate rapidly merged with the symbolic character of the sign itself. Quick to grab on Entwistle's passing, the media created a story that positioned it as a symbol of dashed Hollywood hopes. Shortly after her death, a Los Angeles Times article headed "Suicide Laid to Film Jinx" provocatively suggested her suicide was brought on by her inability to reproduce her theatrical success in the movie business. This publicity not only sensationalized her death, but also appealed to more underlying society fears. Leo Braudy claims that this narrative evolved into a warning about the brutal reality of chasing celebrity in Hollywood, echoing larger issues regarding the many people running to Hollywood during the Depression era, hoping to find sanctuary and prosperity in the developing film business. Staff writer Michael Schulman of The New Yorker contends that the story of Entwistle's death was both a reflection of real concerns about the vast movement of aspirants to Hollywood, many of whom were escaping economic difficulty just to confront certain disappointment, and part myth. Though personal and sad, her narrative reflected the experiences and anxieties of many during that time, therefore serving as both a reminder of the darker undercurrents of the business and a lighthouse of possible glory. Some claim that as the sun sets behind this famous monument, long shadows created by it stirs the paranormal and wakes the terrible. Many people have claimed ghostly experiences and unexplainable events close to this fabled site, which helps to explain its eerie appeal and reputation. The tales of frightening meetings around the Hollywood sign vary as much as they are terrifying. From hearing unusual whispers borne by the wind to seeing ghostly forms darting through the trees, people from all walks of life, each with their own distinct experience, have described a spectrum of supernatural events. These first-hand reports create a terrible picture of the place, implying that something beyond the usual hangs in the shadow of these renowned white letters. Before we continue on, please take a second to hit the like button and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Okay, now back to the story. One such story comes from Sarah Adams, who related an especially terrifying incident she had on an evening hike close to the sign. Sarah felt an unexplainable presence as darkness descended upon the route, as though the eyes of the invisible were closely observing her every move. The air thickened and a chorus of soft murmurs appeared to round her, each syllable sending shivers down her spine. Driven along the road, overcome with a great sense of dread, she felt as though something in the dark woods was watching her long after she had gone. Sarah's narrative is not original. Many others have related similar stories of ghostly contacts close to the Hollywood sign. Those who visit the monument often report unexpected temperature decreases, inexplicable chills, and the frightening sensation of being followed or touched by invisible hands. A visual aspect to the eerie stories about the sign, some guests have even taken pictures of enigmatic orbs or ephemeral apparitions. Though varied and vivid, these occurrences sometimes involve elements that are hard to discount as simple coincidences or light tricks. Many guests have reported, for example, hearing their names whispered on the breeze, experiencing strange chilly spots on warm evenings, or seeing shadows move against the local natural dance of light and darkness. Particularly at a location so rich with history as the Hollywood sign, skeptics might attribute these events to the power of suggestion or the human brain's propensity to perceive patterns in randomness. But the regularity in these stories, shared by people from many backgrounds and at different times, challies the dismissible answers and implies that maybe something really incomprehensible is involved. Many times visitors to the Hollywood sign leave with more than just pictures. They also carry frightening stories of inexplicable events haunting the well-known monument. Among these paranormal encounters, the most often reported are visions of strange lights, perplexing sounds, and shadowy figures dancing on the margins of reality. Skeptics as well as believers have been fascinated by the phenomena of flickering orbs and light flashes close to the Hollywood sign. Witnesses often describe witnessing these illuminations erupt abruptly in the darkness, lingering close to the sign or gliding softly across the nearby hills, often leaving viewers in amazement and dread. The lights, which range from faint glows to spectacular flashes, raises questions about their source and intent. These spectral lights challenge logical answers and inspire the imagination by seeming to have no obvious source. Not less disturbing are the creepy sounds that surround the placard. Visitors report experiencing a variety of audio sensations, ranging from whispering voices to unusual detached whispers that seem to wash across the room. More unsettling still are the faint cries and moans that periodically pierce the night, implying the existence of ghosts unable to reach calm. Often described as haunting whispers from the void, these sounds give the eerie atmosphere around the hills great depth. Perhaps the most visually spectacular and disturbing of the phenomena, noted close to the Hollywood sign, are the rumors of dark figures. Witnesses report brief flashes of figures swooping across the terrain or looming menacingly close to the sign itself. These apparitions leave viewers wondering about their own eyes since they seem and disappear so quickly. Seeing these black forms moving strangely over the night makes one very uncomfortable and anxious, as if the past were temporarily invading the present. Among those who study paranormal activity, these unexplained events have spawned a lot of ideas. Some believe the flickering lights could be expressions of the ghosts from Hollywood's golden age, maybe players or directors whose life intertwined with the local movie legacy. These lights, which imply the remaining energy left by these dynamic people, their legacy still lighting the hills. Others think the strange noises could be the echoes of past tragedies linked to the sign, such as the sad death of actress Peg Entwistle, who tragically took her life by jumping from the letter H. This belief holds that the murmurs and moans are the voices of people whose dreams and hopelessness are carved into the very Hollywood Hills terrain. As for the shadowy figures, Some propose that these could be the restless souls of individuals who have had a historical connection to the land, perhaps drawn back to the iconic site by their unresolved pasts. These spirits, tethered to the physical world, might wander the hills indefinitely, caught between the realms of the living and the dead. These theories, while speculative, reflect a collective fascination with the possibility that the Hollywood sign is more than just a cultural landmark. It could also be a supernatural hotspot, a place where the veil between worlds is thin enough to allow glimpses into the unknown. For those who visit, whether driven by curiosity, skepticism, or a thrill-seeking spirit, the sign offers an opportunity to explore these mysteries firsthand. Paranormal researchers have long been drawn to the Hollywood sign, a beacon of mystery, as much as it is a symbol of cinematic glamour. These researchers have dedicated countless hours and significant resources to exploring the haunted reputation of this iconic landmark, with the goal of understanding the unexplained phenomena reported in its vicinity. Their investigations have not only captivated the public's imagination, but also offered valuable insights into the possible supernatural elements surrounding the sign. One prominent group, the Paranormal Investigation Society, has been particularly active in this field. The team, led by Dr. Amelia Thompson, a respected figure in paranormal research, conducted a series of extensive overnight vigils near the Hollywood sign. Armed with state-of-the-art technology such as electromagnetic field detectors and thermal imaging cameras, they set out to document any signs of paranormal activity meticulously. The Hollywood sign proved to be a hotbed of unexplained energy, Dr. Thompson remarked. The team not only captured anomalous readings that deviated from the norm, but also witnessed apparitions that aligned with the haunting stories long associated with the landmark. It was a truly fascinating experience, Dr. Thompson concluded, her findings adding a significant layer of credibility to the tales of hauntings. Further bolstering their case, Dr. Thompson's team took the additional step of interviewing individuals who claimed to have experienced supernatural occurrences near the Hollywood sign. These first-hand accounts consistently mirrored the eerie tales that have circulated over the years, lending further weight to the notion that something beyond the ordinary is at play around the iconic letters. Another notable entity in this investigative arena is the Paranormal Exploration League, which took a slightly different approach by delving deep into historical records and archives. Their research aimed to uncover any tragic events or lingering spirits that might be associated with the Hollywood sign. This thorough historical investigation revealed a plethora of distressing events, including accidents, untimely deaths, and suicides in the sign's vicinity, each potentially contributing to the spectral energy observed in the area. In addition to historical research, the PEL team also engaged with psychics and mediums to gain further insights into the spiritual dimensions of the Hollywood sign. These gifted individuals claim to have made direct contact with restless spirits linked to the area, offering detailed narratives that seem to explain some of the mysterious occurrences reported by visitors and researchers alike. The accounts from these mediums often spoke of unresolved grief and unfulfilled desires, themes that resonate deeply with the Hollywood narrative of broken dreams and personal tragedies. This dimension of the investigations opened up new avenues for understanding the paranormal activity, suggesting that the spirits of those who had suffered in the shadow of the sign might still be seeking peace or closure. The combined efforts of groups like PIS and PEL have significantly enriched our understanding of the paranormal phenomena associated with the Hollywood sign. While skeptics may continue to question the validity of paranormal research, the consistent findings and the advanced methodologies employed lend a compelling depth to the claims of supernatural activity. These investigations into the Hollywood sign not only satisfy a curiosity about the unknown, but also serve as a poignant reminder of the sign's complex legacy, as a symbol of both cinematic dreams and personal tragedies. As paranormal researchers continue to peel back the layers of mystery surrounding this famed site, they contribute to a larger narrative that intertwines Hollywood's luminous facade with its shadowy, spectral undercurrents. The Hollywood sign, it seems, is as much a gateway to the otherworldly as it is a landmark of the film industry, standing sentinel over a city that dazzles and daunts in equal measure. If you have made it this far, Thank you so much for watching, and if you enjoyed the video and want to see more, then check out these videos on the screen now. If you have a topic suggestion, please send it to the email in the description. And as always, remember to like, comment, share the video, and subscribe to our channel. I will see you in the next one.